If you want to upgrade your 2018 and newer 4-door JL's interior the easy way, then the Kustom Interior Premium Artificial Seat Covers are going to be the right ticket for you. These covers feature eye-catching good looks, premium materials, seamless integration, and simple installation, all for a pretty darn good price. Now, just a note on fitment here before we dive in. This is a full front and rear seat cover kit that is designed to fit 2018 and newer 4-door JL Wranglers that are equipped with the manually adjustable seats. If your JL is equipped with the power seats, this particular kit will not be compatible. Now look, let's be honest, we all want our Jeeps to look good on the outside, but when you're driving it, you're not seeing as much of the exterior. The interior is where you spend your time, and if you don't like it, that can be a problem, especially because once you take the top off of your Wrangler, the entire world can easily see your entire interior. And that's where these covers from Kustom Interior come into play. Now, these are not your father's seat covers, and they are nothing like what you get off the rack at any store. These are perfectly tailored to fit your JL's front and rear seats, and they look like they could have come this way from the factory. Now, these do include provisions for your side airbags, so they integrate perfectly with no loss of safety or function. They're also going to accommodate seat heaters if your Jeep came so equipped from the factory. And on the back, you'll even find storage pockets right down here if you want to put some other stuff in there. So again, these function and look a lot like a standard seat. But the real benefit here comes with the updated looks and materials. Now, these are made using an artificial leather, which will prevent your original seats from damage. However, this material also wears better than traditional leather, and it doesn't have any complicated upkeep. Now, this set in particular features red perforated inserts on the seat back and on the seat bottom, plus you get red accent stitching all the way around. So they give you a pop of color on the inside as well. That gives these plenty of visual interest, and it really helps elevate your interior, especially if you're coming from plain black cloth on something like a Wrangler Sport or a Sport S. These are going to be a welcome change. And every time you open the door, you're going to be greeted by that fun color and some nice inviting seats. It's going to make driving and being in your JL more of a luxurious experience, especially as compared to what it came with from the factory. The benefit here is that it looks and feels a lot like real leather, but again, this is a harder wearing material that provides better resistance to damage. It's also water resistant, so a small spill, a wet bathing suit, or even just a quick blip out in the rain isn't going to be a huge issue. Now, underneath, you're going to find additional layers of foam padding for enhanced comfort. The covers are designed to be an exact fit as well, so they look like a factory seat cover. They are also designed with those breakaway seams, so in the event of an accident, they won't impede side impact airbag function. And they feature a simple slide-on installation too, but we'll talk more about that momentarily. Now again, this is a full complement of covers. You've got ones for the front and the back, and you've even got headrest covers that have that same piping and the red stitching included too. I can't fit all of them up here on the table because there simply isn't enough room, but know that you will be getting a full set when you make your purchase. Pricing for this kit comes in at about $525. Now that does put these toward the top end of the category, and it is a good bit of coin for a set of seat covers. However, again, these are not normal seat covers. Really, this is the trick. If you want to get that custom interior look without having to pay what would be a much higher price if you went to an upholstery shop or paying the premium to swap out your seats or in fact your entire Jeep, this is the way to do it. You can get that elevated, luxurious custom look without having to pay a huge fortune. And really, with that in mind, that makes these quite a nice bargain. The news gets better as we get to the installation, because we're going to give these a simple 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now, like we discussed earlier, these are designed to slip right over your factory seats. No disassembly is required. However, since they are a pretty tight fit, it can take a little doing to get them on. However, it's not complicated at all. It's really just a bunch of hooks and straps and things like that. So with that said, let's head on out to the shop and we will walk you through the installation process step by step.
All right, the only tool you're going to need for this install is the provided trim tool in the kit. Today we're going to be installing seat covers on a Wrangler. Let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to need to do is remove the headrest. We're going to slide it up a bit, and we're going to push the button on the right side over here and keep sliding, and then it's going to lock in position. Now there is another side tab right here that we're going to have to push in at the same exact time. You might need to adjust your seat out of the way depending on if you have the speaker here or not. We're going to tilt our seat a little bit backwards and get that fully out. Once that's out, you want to repeat the same exact step for the driver's side. All right, one thing to quick note, we are on the passenger side, so your airbag tag is going to stick out on the left-hand side. So we're going to flip this around on the back end, and we're going to see that zipper right here. We're going to unzip this so we can get it fitted better over the backrest. Also on the bottom here, one thing to quick note, Once this is all the way over, we have these hooks to hook on the bottom of the carriage. And also these tabs are gonna go in between the bottom of the seat to lock in. So we're just gonna open this up and flip this over the back end. Once you have the backrest over, we're going to tuck our headrest trim around the openings. All right, if this gets a little bit difficult tucking the hole around the opening for the headrest, you can use the provided trim tool and kind of push it in and work your way around. So you're gonna start on this end while holding the other side and kind of push this around, or you can just get on top and stretch it over, trying not to rip the fabric. That one's tucked down. All right, once you have both of those down, you want to make sure everything's flush and it fits nicely. Now you can move on to the bottom. All right, now working on the bottom anchors. These are the anchors we're going to be working with. We're going to tuck this in between the bottom of the seat and the bottom of the backrest. If we can get it slid in like how it is, that's great. If not, we can pull our seat actually forward and get some more room. So you just want to push these through, all three of them, just so it pokes out the back end. All right, now moving on to the bottom seat cover, flip it on the back side. We have the same clips that we're going to be using towards the middle of the rest. And also we have the clips that are going to be underneath the middle of the seat, and also these front clips that are going to be tucked underneath the seat as well. So flipping it back over, we're going to lay it just like this and tuck it in. Take these clips and push them in. All right, it's kind of hard to show this, but we're gonna reach underneath the seat like this and clip this end into the other side of the seat cover. And then we're also gonna take our front hooks and stretch them under and hook them anywhere on the seat frame. All right, now that we have our front hook here, we're just gonna slide this under and hook anywhere out of the way of moving parts of the frame. All right, now that we have this hook, you're gonna repeat for the other hook on this side. All right, now that we have our cross buckle slid through the rail of the frame, we're gonna connect it onto the other side and clip it in. All right, now that we're on the back of the top rest, we're going to zip this down and make sure everything's secure, and then move on to the bottom secure. All right, you do not need to do this stuff, but we just wanted to show you where the plastic hooks end up. You're just gonna reach under and unhook this. All right, where you push the plastic pieces in the middle of the seat, this is where they're all gonna end up. And this step is unnecessary to check on this, but you can just make sure that they are all locked in. That way the seat bottom won't go anywhere. All right, now we're gonna take these two hooks and attach them underneath the frame, slide them under, just make sure they're out of the way of any moving parts. All right, once you have those hooked under, you should be good to go. All right, now we can install back our headrest. Just slide it back into its notches. And we're gonna leave it at this point because now we're gonna slide the headrest cover over top. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll start on the top end. All right, once you have that on, you can reach back, pull out your Velcro strap on the front and the rear, pull it tight and secure that. And you can adjust your headrest to any position you want to. We're gonna send ours all the way down. Once we have our Velcro pulled through, we're gonna pull it tight, flip the back end front, and pull our front end tight. And now we can adjust our headrest back down. All right, once we finished up on the passenger side and got everything tucked down and secured, we're gonna repeat the exact same process for the driver's side. All right, moving on to the driver's side rear, we're gonna lay our backrest onto the portion right here, and we may need to maneuver the seat forward and flip the headrest forward just to get a little bit working area better. So we're gonna start off by sliding this through. I'm actually gonna flip the headrest forward so I can get it passed through easier. So just like that, tilt it out forward a little bit, pull that through, and then you're gonna go on either side and pull that around your headrest. Just set that there temporarily, and the other side. And now at this point, we can flip the whole seat forward just to get the backrest a little bit more accessible. All right, now that we have that pulled forward, pull that around the side and tuck that in just like that, and work our way onto the other side. It's kind of hard to see, but we're just stretching and pulling at this point. Now we can flip our headrest back up, and we could go move on to the bottom of the backrest and slide our clips in. All right, once you have the bottom tucked in, you just want to make sure everything lays nice and flat, and then flip the seat forward so you can do the Velcro straps on the back. All right, with the seat flipped all the way forward, we can now pull our Velcro straps out on the top and the bottom, and we're gonna pull this tight, stretch, and lay that on. Make sure everything sits evenly. Pull that tight. We're gonna pull our top one tight, and also the side one. Working our way on this side, it's kind of hard to see, but same process. Just pull that tight, and our bottom one. And you can go back and make any adjustments that you need to. We're gonna lay that one evenly. Check our fitment, and then we can move on to the bottom. All right, moving on to our bottom section, flip it over. We have 2 hooks on either side, and we also have 1 bottom clip, and we have our buckles to pass through on the other side. And we also have an additional clip to go around the back end. Flipping this over, we'll start by tucking this in. Now we can take our clips and our buckle and pass it through. Now we can take our buckles and send that through. All right, right now I have the seat folded down so that way we can show where the buckles come through. So we're gonna have one right here and pull that one through right on this side. And these are actually gonna pull all the way through, and then we're gonna send this back forward so we can clip up to the buckles in the front. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but this is our front buckle right here that's going to connect all the way to the rear one. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So we're gonna reach back and find our strap and get that plugged in. We can pull that all the way through and connect our buckles. Same thing for the rear. All right, the next part is extremely difficult to see. We have 2 hooks on the inner side that I showed earlier. So we're gonna pull these down and stretch them to the middle of the bottom of the seat frame to get that tightened down. And also the 2 on the other side. All right, now that we have the headrest tilted forward a little bit, we can slide on our headrest cover. Lock it back into position. Pull that down just a bit more. And now we can locate our Velcro straps. And if you want to, we can tilt this back forward just to get them strapped in. All right, starting on the bottom passenger side, this is the double seat cover. Flip this over just to see what we have going on. We have 3 belt buckles along with 2 hooks on either side, and also 3 belt buckles on the front to clip into, along with 2 clips. So we're going to flip this back over, get it laid out, tuck this corner down. All right, once you have that laid out flat, we can now take our buckles and send them all the way through. And our last buckle here, push that through. Just make sure our seat belts are tucked out of the way. Make sure everything's laying flat. All right, same situation as the other side. We're gonna reach down and buckle our clips in. We'll reach under the seat and pull through what we already pushed in and clip these together. Same thing for our middle. And it's hard to see, but the also last one. All right, now moving on to our backrest portion. We have the same deal with the buckles on the bottom end. So we're just gonna lift this up over the headrest and feed that through. All right, once we have that laid on the top, now we can tuck in the bottom. All right, now for the back portion on the middle section, we're actually going to lift the middle headrest up, and we're going to split our seatbelt divider so we can tuck it around our seatbelt. All right, now that we have the middle headrest up, we're actually going to pull this section back, pull our seatbelt all the way out. We're going to route this through our seatbelt divide. All right, now that we have our seatbelt routed, we can now tuck in the back section. All right, at this point, we're going to bring the seat a little bit forward so we can tuck in the rest of the back section. Now we can leave that just like that because we're going to pick it up on the back end. All right, to make it a little bit easier, we tilted our seat a little bit forward. So we're going to stretch and pull, get that strapped in, and we're going to look for our Velcro straps and pull those through. We're going to do the bottom one, strap that to the back, and our top. And also for the other side. And pull that tight. Same thing for the top. All right, now we're gonna get the top section of the cover around the seat belt. So we're gonna take this back and just tuck it underneath the plastic trim. All right, we're gonna pull and stretch and pull that down. Get that flattened out. And we'll lock those two pieces together. All right, now we're gonna take our headrest and slide these two straps around on the outside, flip it over, and place it on. And now we can tuck back down our headrest in position. All right, now we can put on the final headrest. Then we can locate our Velcro on the front and the rear. And we can maneuver the headrest if we need to. Push that through. And strap that down. Now we're going to take these two hooks and slide it under and towards the middle of the frame. All right, once we have those hooked down and secured, we can now repeat for the other side of the hooks. All right, that wraps up our install for a custom interior, premium artificial leather front and rear seat covers, black with red accent for 18 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL 4-door without power seats. Just remember, for everything Wrangler related, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.